Did you see the podcast excellence yesterday with Derek Bros, saving Jesus from Christianity? Did you see the return of the consequential rapscallions? How about Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, correspondence, and polarity? Good stuff yesterday. More good stuff coming up today. I guarantee it, or your money back. I'm Jeffrey Darty. It's New Cosmic Knowledge. Have a little bit of a morning mantra going on here, and I don't think I've ever just read to anything. Ever just read you anything? I had a weird, funny thing there in the chat. I don't think I've ever just read you anything, but I can't think of any better way to get this information out to you than to just read you something real quickly. The book is Soar with Your Strengths. And I want to read you a little parable that I think will give you some interesting things to think about on this Friday morning. Here we go. Let the Rabbits Run, it's called. Imagine there's a meadow. In that meadow is a duck, a fish, an eagle, an owl, a squirrel, and a rabbit. They decide that they want to start a school so they can be smart just like people. Oh boy, first mistake. So they came up with a curriculum they thought would make for a well-rounded animal. The curriculum would include running, swimming, tree climbing, jumping, and, ladies and gentlemen, flying. On the first day of school, little Brer Rabbit was very excited. He combed his ears, went hopping off to his running class. In running class, he was a star. He ran to the top of the hill and back as fast as he could go. And oh boy, did it feel good. He said to himself, I can't believe it. At school, I get to do what I do best. The instructor said, Rabbit, you're really good for running. You have great muscles in your legs. With some training, you'll get more out of every hop. The rabbit said, I love school. I get to do what I like to do, and I get to learn to do it better. The next class was swimming. And when the rabbit smelled the chlorine, he said, whoa, wait a minute. Rabbits don't like to swim. The instructor said, well, you may not like it, but 5 years from now, you'll know that it was a good thing for you. In the tree climbing class, a tree trunk was set at a 30-degree angle so all the rabbits had a chance to succeed. The little rabbit tried so hard that he hurt his leg. In the jumping class, he got along just fine. In the flying class, the little rabbit also had a problem, so the teacher gave him a psychological test and discovered that he belonged in remedial flying. And in remedial flying class, he had to practice jumping off a cliff. They told him if he'd just work hard enough, he could succeed. The next morning, he went to swimming class. The instructor said, today we jump in the water. Wait, said the rabbit. I talked to my parents. They didn't learn to swim. We don't like to get wet. I'd just like to drop this course. The instructor said, you can't drop it. At this point, you have a choice, jump in or flunk. Rabbit jumped in, panicked, went down once, went down twice. The other animals laughed at him. He wanted desperately to get out of class that day. He was glad when it was over. He'd head home, say, I don't like school. I want to be free. And his parents said, listen, if rabbits are going to get ahead, you have to get a diploma. The rabbit said, I don't want a diploma. His parents said, you're going to get a diploma whether you like it or not. They argued. Finally, the parents made him go to bed. He went to the counselor the next day, said, I don't like school. The counselor said, tell me about it. The rabbit did. The counselor said, Rabbit, I hear you. I hear you saying you don't like school because you don't like swimming. I think I've diagnosed that correctly. So, Rabbit, here's what I'm going to do. You do just fine in running. I don't know why you need to work on running. What you need to work on is swimming. So I'm going to arrange it so you don't go to running anymore, and you can go to swimming twice every day. With that, the rabbit threw up. And as the rabbit hopped out of the counselor's office, he looked up and saw his old friend, the wise old owl, who cocked his head to one side and said, Brer Rabbit, life doesn't have to be that way. We could have schools and businesses where people are allowed to concentrate on what they do well. Brer Rabbit was inspired. He thought when he graduated, he'd start a business where rabbits would do nothing but run, squirrels could just climb trees, and the fish could just swim. As he disappeared into the meadow, he sighed softly to himself and said, "Oh, what a great place that would be." What do you do best? And why do you bother to do anything else? We're the last generation of real humans. We got to get busy. And wouldn't it make sense to get busy at what we do best and leave the rest to somebody else that does that better than we do? Just a crazy thought, I know. We are the last generation of real humans. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge, and think about it. Jeff, that's not the way we've always done it. Well, if you continue to do things the way you've always done them, you'll continue to get the results you've always got. How's that working for you? We're the last generation of real humans. Let's get smart and let's get busy.